Difficult people are ubiquitous, an unavoidable facet of life's landscape. At some juncture, you'll invariably encounter someone who tests your patience, leaving you grappling for coping mechanisms. It's tempting to question the effort required to navigate these tumultuous waters. Yet, the reality is often far from simplistic. We frequently find ourselves entangled in circumstances beyond our control. One such circumstance is familial ties, a bond fraught with complexity and intimacy. Family members, in particular, can pose the greatest challenge, as their proximity amplifies the intensity of interactions. Unlike fleeting acquaintances such as friends or colleagues, severing ties with family isn't always feasible or desirable. The bonds of kinship impose an obligation to persevere, to uphold the integrity of the familial unit. The ripple effect of discord within the family can reverberate through all relationships, casting a shadow over the collective harmony. Strained relations with one family member can cast a pall over interactions with others, perpetuating a cycle of tension and discomfort. So, how does one navigate the labyrinth of familial friction? The answer lies in a delicate balance of patience, empathy, and resilience. While you may not be able to choose your family, you can choose how you respond to their presence in your life. Setting boundaries, practicing active listening, and seeking common ground are essential tools in fostering understanding and reconciliation. Ultimately, the journey of managing difficult family dynamics is a testament to the strength of familial bonds and the resilience of the human spirit. By embracing the challenges head-on, we not only foster personal growth but also contribute to the enduring fabric of familial love and solidarity. 1. Resist the urge to play the fixer in the theater of difficult personalities. Instead, embrace radical acceptance of them, flaws and all. This golden rule isn't just for familial frictions, it's a universal truth for navigating the minefield of challenging individuals. While the impulse to lend a helping hand may be strong, tread cautiously. Your efforts, more often than not, may fall on barren soil. The path of attempting to mend someone's ways can quickly lead to a labyrinth of frustration and disappointment. The more you invest in their betterment, the more voracious their appetite for your assistance becomes. It's a slippery slope, one where the summit of satisfaction remains perpetually out of reach. Acceptance doesn't equate to resignation, it's a recognition of current realities. Acknowledge that change, if it ever comes, will do so on its own timeline. Until then, maintain a grounded perspective. Unless tangible evidence of transformation emerges, it's prudent to assume that their behavior is a steadfast fixture of their persona. Managing expectations becomes paramount. Avoid the trap of wishful thinking, tempering your anticipations with a healthy dose of realism. True progress hinges on genuine effort and mutual compromise. In the grand symphony of relationships, acceptance serves as the refrain, weaving threads of understanding and empathy. By relinquishing the burden of fixing, you liberate yourself from the shackles of disappointment, embracing a more harmonious cadence of coexistence. 2. Be present and direct. Know that a person who is trying to stir up conflict can easily set you off emotionally, and even physically, possibly raising your heart rate and blood pressure. Try to avoid getting into a fight or flight response, which inevitably leads to becoming defensive. You do not want an argument or heated discussion. Stay true to yourself, grounded in your own integrity. Be direct and assertive when you express yourself. Stay focused on how you respond. Know when the discussion or argument has accelerated to the point of no return, meaning it's no longer about conflict resolution, but just about winning. If it gets to this point, stop the interaction and leave the conversation. 3. In the tumult of conflict, maintain your presence and wield the power of directness. Recognize the subtle provocations aimed at inciting discord, triggering a cascade of emotional and physiological responses. Resist the urge to succumb to the primal instinct of fight or flight, for it only serves to perpetuate the cycle of aggression. Your goal isn't to engage in verbal warfare, but to preserve your composure and dignity. Anchor yourself in the bedrock of authenticity, speaking your truth with clarity and conviction. Let your words be a reflection of your unwavering integrity, unclouded by the tempest of discord. When expressing yourself, be assertive, conveying your thoughts with confidence and purpose. Remain vigilant, attuned to the subtle shifts in dynamics that signal the escalation of conflict beyond the realm of resolution. When dialogue devolves into a battle of egos, where victory supersedes understanding, it's time to disengage. Know when to draw the line, recognizing the futility of further discourse. If the conversation veers irreversibly into the realm of antagonism, exercise the power of departure. Step away from the fray, refusing to be ensnared in the web of contention. In the crucible of confrontation, your presence is your greatest asset. By staying grounded and direct, you assert control over the narrative, steering it towards a path of mutual understanding and respect. And when the winds of discord threaten to engulf you, remember, the most potent response is often found in the strength of your silence. 4. Stay vigilant for the telltale signs of trigger topics, those conversational landmines that threaten to ignite discord. Anticipate the flashpoints where disagreement lurks, poised to disrupt the delicate balance of harmony. Draw upon your reservoir of past experiences, wielding them as a shield against the impending storm. Arm yourself with the foresight to recognize these sensitive subjects when they rear their contentious heads. In the face of such provocation, adopt a strategy of poised assertiveness. Confront these issues head-on, navigating the conversational minefield with finesse and diplomacy. Choose your words carefully, delivering your stance with clarity and conviction, yet tempered with a spirit of non-confrontation. Alternatively, should the atmosphere become charged with tension, exercise the art of deflection. Redirect the conversation away from the perilous precipice of conflict, steering it towards safer shores. Employ tactics of gentle redirection or graceful evasion, sparing both parties from the turmoil of heated debate. Navigating trigger topics requires finesse and tact, a delicate dance between assertion and diplomacy. By remaining vigilant and prepared, you empower yourself to diffuse tensions and preserve the sanctity of discourse. In the realm of contentious dialogue, foresight is your greatest ally, guiding you safely through the labyrinth of disagreement towards the oasis of mutual understanding. 5. Some topics are sacred ground, off-limits by decree. Learn from the annals of your personal history, where past encounters serve as cautionary tales. These subjects, shrouded in taboo, evoke visceral reactions and stir dormant emotions. Recognize the warning signs, the subtle tremors that precede an emotional earthquake. Embrace the wisdom of avoidance, not as a permanent evasion but as a strategic retreat. If the mere mention of certain topics invokes a sense of dread or leaves you emotionally drained, heed the call to step back. Acknowledge that progress cannot be forced, that meaningful dialogue requires a fertile ground of mutual respect and readiness. Exercise discernment, gauging the readiness of both parties to engage in constructive discourse. If the timing isn't right, if the wounds of past encounters still fester, honor the sanctity of silence. Await the opportune moment when hearts are open, minds receptive, poised to traverse the thorny path towards reconciliation. Remember, avoidance isn't synonymous with cowardice, it's an act of self-preservation and respect for the sanctity of dialogue. By honoring the boundaries of sensitivity, you pave the way for future engagement, laying the groundwork for a more fruitful exchange. In the grand tapestry of communication, some threads are too delicate to be woven haphazardly. Exercise discretion, knowing when to hold back and when to forge ahead. In the sacred space of conversation, let reverence be your guiding principle, guiding you towards a future where discourse is rooted in understanding and mutual growth. 6. Shift your perspective. It's rarely about you, even when it feels personal. Resist the gravitational pull of self-absorption, reframing conflicts through a wider lens. Trace the trajectory of discord, dissecting its anatomy to reveal the underlying dynamics. Notice the incremental progression from a specific trigger to escalating tensions and, ultimately, personal attacks. At the heart of most conflicts lies a kernel of discontent, a point of contention that ignites the fuse of discord. As dialogue unfolds, observe the evolution of emotions, the gradual descent into the abyss of personal affronts. Recognize the patterns, the familiar cadence of blame and guilt hurled in your direction. Armed with the wisdom of hindsight, preempt the script before it unfolds. Visualize the scene playing out before it transpires, rehearsing your responses with precision. Interrupt the cycle of escalation, nipping conflict in the bud before it gains momentum. Remember, beneath the veneer of personal attacks lies a deeper well of unresolved issues and unmet needs. Resist the temptation to internalize the vitriol, understanding that it's often a reflection of the assailant's own inner turmoil. By reframing conflicts as collective challenges rather than personal affronts, you reclaim agency over your emotional landscape. Empower yourself to navigate turbulent waters with grace and resilience, emerging unscathed from the tempest of discord. 7. Prioritize your own well-being above all else, even in the pursuit of harmony and satisfaction for others. While extending courtesy and consideration to those around you is commendable, it should never come at the expense of your own mental and emotional equilibrium. Refuse to contort yourself into unnatural shapes or sacrifice your inner peace merely to placate others or maintain the illusion of tranquility. Your well-being is sacred, a non-negotiable cornerstone of self-respect. Envision your boundaries as an impenetrable fortress, safeguarding the sanctity of your personal space. Erect walls of self-preservation, resolute in your refusal to yield to unwarranted intrusion. No one, regardless of their relationship to you, is entitled to breach these barriers without your explicit consent. Now, let's navigate the delicate terrain of familial gatherings, where tensions often simmer beneath the veneer of celebration. Arm yourself with foresight, crafting a strategic blueprint for navigating these familial minefields. Approach the occasion with careful planning, ensuring that every moment is curated to foster harmony and minimize discord. Avoid the perilous pitfall of unstructured downtime, where the specter of confrontation looms large. Shield yourself from the onslaught of difficult family members who delight in provoking and inciting turmoil. Surround yourself with a phalanx of supportive allies, individuals who uplift and affirm your worth. Let their presence serve as a bulwark against the onslaught of familial strife. In the grand tapestry of human relationships, your well-being reigns supreme. Honor the sanctity of your boundaries, guarding them fiercely against encroachment. By prioritizing self-care and cultivating a nurturing support system, you forge a path towards lasting serenity and fulfillment amidst the tumult of familial bonds. Thank you very much.